It was the picture-perfect romance, until it wasn't. Romeo Beckam and Kim Turnbull, once the golden couple poised beside each other at David Beckham's glittering 50th birthday bash, have quietly gone their separate ways. But this wasn't just any breakup. Beneath the curated Instagram photos and polite public smiles, their split has ignited whispers of something far more complicated. A deepening family rift, unspoken tension between brothers, and a brewing storm that threatens to fracture the polished surface of the Beckam legacy. At the center, a model, a missing daughter-in-law, and a love story that may have been less romantic than strategic. They had walked into David's milestone celebration hand in hand. Graceful, composed, every bit the young it couple. For months, Kim had become a familiar welcome face within the Beckam fold. Charming Victoria, sharing vineyard getaways with Harper and Cruz, even sitting at the table during an intimate dinner in Notting Hill. From the outside, it looked like Romeo had found his match. But just 3 weeks after the confetti settled, everything fell quiet, and then quietly apart. Friends close to the pair confirmed what many fans had begun to sense. The relationship was over. No scandal, no dramatic fallout. Just two young stars choosing different paths. Or so the official line went. Behind closed doors, however, insiders were whispering something different. The breakup may have been labeled amicable, but the timing raised eyebrows, coming so soon after a major family milestone, and just as tensions elsewhere in the Beckam clan reached a slow, simmering boil. Why end a seemingly strong relationship right after being embraced so fully by the family? And why, despite the split, were Romeo and Kim still crossing paths, sometimes even leaving the same events together after arriving separately? For those paying attention, this wasn't just a breakup, it was the beginning of a shift. Something was off, and it had little to do with busy work schedules or clashing calendars. On the surface, it was all handled with the kind of restraint the Beckams are known for. They're young, one source offered. These things happen. But beneath that calm exterior, a quiet unease lingered. David and Victoria weren't just supportive of the relationship, they were reportedly fond of Kim. Full stop. She wasn't just Romeo's girlfriend. She had been trusted, included, and embraced. So the suddenness of it all, the timing, the silence, the vague explanations didn't sit right. Conversations became cautious. Mentions of Kim, once casual, now carried weight. Because behind the soft statements and polished press quotes was an unspoken question. Had this really been about Romeo and Kim? Or about someone else entirely? That someone, of course, was Nicola Peltz. Her absence from David's 50th didn't go unnoticed. It echoed. While Kim mingled effortlessly with the family, Nicola and Brooklyn were nowhere to be seen. And almost immediately the speculation began. Whispers turned into claim that Nicola felt uncomfortable around Kim, that she believed Kim had once dated Brooklyn, and that her presence at Beckam events made their attendance impossible. But according to multiple sources, that narrative doesn't hold. Kim had been linked not to Brooklyn, but to Rocco Ritchie, Madonna's son and part of the same tight-knit social circle. Still, Nicola's discomfort seemed to become the unofficial excuse for their growing distance. And just like that, a young couple's breakup was being folded into a much larger and much messier family feud. What had once been a simple romance now felt like collateral damage. As Nicola and Brooklyn stayed away, the Beckam family found themselves walking a delicate tightrope, defending Kim, keeping Romeo close, and hoping somehow to pull Brooklyn back into the fold. For Romeo, this wasn't just heartbreak. It was being pulled between loyalty to the girl who had been there for his milestone, and the sister-in-law subtly shifting the dynamics behind the scenes. Soon, rumors of a love triangle began to spread, and the tabloids ran wild. Some suggested Romeo was dating his brother's ex, a claim both offensive and, according to insiders, completely false. Cruz Beckam didn't stay silent. In a now-deleted Instagram comment, he fired back at the suggestion. Brooklyn and Kim never dated. It was blunt and deliberate, a rare move from the typically reserved younger brother. But while the comment disappeared, the tension did not. Behind the scenes, Romeo was reportedly livid, not just because of the rumors, but because someone from within the family might have let them fester. David and Victoria, once eager to blend families and preserve preserve unity, were now watching their eldest son slip further away, missing birthdays, skipping trips, avoiding the very events that once brought them all together. Insiders close to the family insist that this goes deeper than Kim. They point to a troubling pattern, that Nicola often clashes with the family before major events, leading to Brooklyn's repeated absences. Some believe she's exerting more control than the Beckhams are willing to publicly admit. And now, by painting Kim as the reason for the divide, she's forced Romeo into the spotlight, something he neither wanted nor deserved. For the Beckhams, it's not just about a broken relationship anymore. It's about boundaries, influence, and the uncomfortable realization that their once unshakable family unit may not be as unbreakable as they hope. For now, the official line remains intact. Romeo and Kim went their separate ways because of life, timing, and work. But anyone close to the Beckhams will tell you, this wasn't just a blip in young love. It was the spark that lit up everything else smoldering beneath the surface. A relationship that seemed solid, a family that looked unshakable, and a narrative that, once again, exposed just how fractured the Beckham household has quietly become. Romeo is said to be keeping his head down, focusing on his football career, his fashion collaborations, and maintaining a quiet distance from the drama playing out behind the scenes. Kim, ever composed, is moving forward with her modeling and DJ work. Still respected by the family, still very much present in the circles that matter, but no longer center stage. And yet, their names remain tied to a larger story, one that refuses to die down. Because the truth is, this isn't just about Romeo and Kim. It's about the growing silence between siblings, about a brother who no longer shows up, about two parents, once experts at controlling the public story, now struggling to keep the cracks from widening, and about a daughter-in-law who, whether she intends to or not, continues to redraw the lines of loyalty, inclusion, and control. Those inside the family say David and Victoria still hold out hope that one day Brooklyn will walk back through the door, not for a headline, not for a photo op, but for the love that once made the Beckam brand feel unshakable. But until then, they're playing a careful game, keeping things civil, refusing to assign blame, and quietly bracing for whatever comes next. Because this isn't over. Not even close. This was never just a breakup. It was a line in the sand. And now, everyone's watching who dares to cross it.